watching this Election Night special. I'm Emmeline Reed.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so delighted to be here again for another election because we're going to do fun facts tonight on 1924, but this is our mayoral election for the city. The polls have been busy all day long, and I am happy to say this is the third time I have been able to be here. So we're having a lot of good things happening. We have many open races tonight. There's a lot of things that are going to be decided. Emmeline, what are you hearing?
Well, we're hearing a lot of really good things, but my question for you is, having seen this year after year, what do you think about the weather? How do you think that affects the turnout, since it has been kind of a rainy day today?
Well, I'm going to say that from my past years, the voters are going to vote. People that are thinking about it might only come out on a sunny day. I hope that's not true. I hope we exceed our expectations, which have been tragically low here in the city. We work hard for our ability to vote, and I mean, having 26% of the voters coming out in an election that every day these people are going to touch your lives. So this is a very, very important election.
And you have some fun facts here tonight about election years in the past. So it's a little bit of Marlboro history. Can you share some of what you've learned with me?
Well, I can tell you that since 1890, we've had 40 people, including our current mayor, that have been elected mayor to the city of Marlboro. So think about that. Since 1890, that is not a lot of people.
No, it's really not.
What says to me is our city has been steered in great forces, and people have done a good job. Being mayor of the city is a very taxing job, and people that step forward to it, good luck to them. But we're almost at the poll closing.
Almost there. We're so close. Now, you have spent some time, serving yourself. What can you tell us about this night and the energy that people are feeling on this night?
I'll tell you, well, personally, my friends are all saying to me, thank you, because they're not outside holding a sign. But I'll tell you, campaigns take a lot of work. They take a lot of friends. They take a lot of people. And we have to give kudos to everybody that put their name on the ballot tonight, because you had people out there, you had people knocking doors, you had people doing mailings for you. It's a tremendous effort, and it's really, to the candidates themselves, thank you, because it takes so much courage to put your name on the ballot, because somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. So it takes a lot of courage. We're actually going to go to the former elections clerk, current assistant city councilor, Wilson Chu. We're looking for Wilson.
Wilson's going to come on in. He's going to chat with us,
because the polls are just closing.
Hi, Wilson. So let's come on in.
So tell us what happened today. What'd you all do all day?
So what we did was we just checked on every precinct and polling locations to make sure they had all the correct supplies and stuff like that. Make sure.
So I saw a lot, because I work at the senior center, and we are the polling location for 5 precincts. I saw a lot of envelopes coming in. Did that mean there was more ballots that needed to be had?
Those are absentee ballots.
Those are. So
Yep.
what happens with an absentee ballot?
So initially it comes to our office and we process it, and then we send it out to the polls, and what they do is they run it through the machines.
So they have to run it through the machine at the poll where you're registered to vote.
Correct.
So that's why, so the blue and the red lines on the
Those are just check in, check out.
check in, check out.
Right.
Okay. So what are you thinking about the vote today? Was it a good vote, a bad vote?
It's good.
Yeah? Do you think it met your expectations?
Well, it's good. Seems like it's becoming a good turnout.
And tell me about absentee. How many, do you know the number? How many
I
absentee?
think it was like 630.
That's a pretty good number for the city, that people
Right.
knew that they weren't going to be here.
Correct.
So what happens now? You guys just going to twiddle your fingers?
So we're just waiting for all the polling locations to close, and then basically they're going to bring in the tally sheets, and we're going to tally them all up.
So tell everybody, when the polling location closes, what happens?
So they have to basically reconcile all the receipts and make sure.
And what does that mean, reconcile?
They have to make sure all the numbers match with the machine to the receipts, and then.
So the people that took a ballot and the number posted in your machine has to match?
Correct.
And if it doesn't match?
Then we'll have some issues, but.
So do you have to hand count
We'd have
at
to
that
hand
point?
count, yeah.
And that hasn't happened in a long time, because we have a
Nope.
great machine system now,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I thought, yeah.
All right, hello, Trish. Such a pleasure to be with you.
So, Councilor Delano, not running, you're not on the ballot this year. What's it feel like?
Well, after 16 years of elected service, it feels pretty good.
Yeah?
I mean, there's some trepidation. I worry about what happens if I'm not there, but guess what? The city did great before I was here. They're going to do great after me.
So how's it feel the first time, election night in 8 years? Or 8+ years?
12
because you're-
years, yeah.
12 years because you were on the city council, the
And
school
so
committee.
16 years, yeah,
Yeah.
4 years on the city council, school committee,
Yeah,
and 12 years on the city council. So it's a little strange. You know, I've been in a weird position on city council. I've never been opposed. So it's always been a fairly relaxing night, so I've been blessed in that way.
which I was never lucky enough to have that
No,
happen.
but on the other hand, I feel like I worked really hard to
Mm-hmm.
try and justify the people's faith. And we did a lot of good things when I was there, did a lot of great things while we were there together, Trish.
So tell me though, you're in your twilight time. So
On the city council, I'm not
on-
that old, okay?
No,
Yeah.
I'm only talking about your city council time.
Yes.
So what do you need to get done before you leave?
Oh, that's a
I
great
mean,
question.
I know you have a lot of things on your agenda.
And it's been interesting because there's potential for a lot of shakeup on the council. When people don't know what's going to happen, they try and come in to what they know. So we've had a number of zoning changes come in, a number of special permits for large projects. And they're all coming in and hoping to get done this year because they're not sure what's going to happen next year. They don't know what the composition of the council will be. They don't know what the general thinking will be. So we've got a ton of work to get through this year before I leave.
And what people should know is anything that lays on the table that isn't completed this legislative year will die.
Right.
You need to resubmit it to have it be talked about again.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, it's only fair to the petitioner as well as the residents of Marlborough that everybody should be up to speed on everything that's happening.
Correct. So, for instance, if there were a special permit, only the people that were there during the process can vote. So we know for sure we're going to have 2 different people next year. So that would bring you out of 11, 9 votes, and it could be another 1 or 2 different people. And so if you're down to 7 votes, you need 8 to get a special permit. So that's why we do it. It's a good process.
So I'm going to catch you off guard here.
Trish, okay.
Your greatest success as a city councilor?
Oh, my goodness. So I feel like it wouldn't be one thing. I think it was following up and working with you, with Mayor Vigent, on having a business-friendly attitude so that we had smart growth. So we did some really good things to grow our city, to keep our tax rates lower than those around us. So I've done a great job of growing, a great job of attracting good quality business and housing. So I think together we've done a really good job of those things.
And we all have one. The saddest thing that you thought should pass that didn't?
Oh, boy, I would say recently, probably the ability to make a beautiful neighborhood down at the old airport.
Okay.
We had five councilors who were not in support of that.
Yeah.
We've got to have a beautiful neighborhood there. Probably in excess differential of about $500,000 a year in taxes from what's going to be there now. So if you look over 10 years, that's $500,000 over, or $5 million over 20 years, that's $10 million. That would pay for our new fire station. So we're going to have something there that will be, I'm sure, good, but it's going to be a lot more traffic and a little less taxes. So.
And I told Joe I wasn't going to put him on the spot, but I'm going to now. Because we all have one, take me back.
I thought you just did.
We all have one, take me back. One thing you voted for that you wish you didn't.
Boy, I'm trying to think of
I
that.
don't know, I had mine, so.
I'm not sure that I could actually bring one of those up. I don't think there's anything that I voted for that I was upset that I did. However, this whole mess with the contractors' yards and all that, either we should have done it or not done it, so
And you had the best interests of the city at heart when you took it on.
Well, we're trying to fix things that were broken.
Yeah.
We're trying to make the neighborhoods better, and it became very political, it became very personal. We didn't get it done. I regret that. I thought we could have really improved the city, But, you know, it's politics, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
And I don't think people understand how much of a hard job it is and how much you take home with you every night.
No, and that varies from counselor to counselor.
True,
You,
yeah.
like me, where when we have a long night, I'll go home, toss, turn, won't sleep. And it
Keep
can
my
be,
husband up.
well, or my wife, yes.
Right.
And it's difficult. And I think after a certain amount of time, that's probably why I'm saying, okay, enough. Let me spend more time with my family, attend to my business. I've got a growing family with grandchildren coming along the way. So, but it can be very painful, very upsetting, because you care. And
Right.
when you care, you get upset sometimes.
But walking away, you know you served the city well.
I know I did the best I could.
Well,
Far from
I'll get it-
perfect.
well-
Could have been better in so many ways, and there are a few takebacks perhaps and things I said or getting irritated. But you know, politics ain't beanbag, and I did the best I could.
Right, and hindsight is
Yeah.
20/20.
Exactly,
That's right. So
exactly.
Joe, the city is better served for having had you. We're delighted that you're here with us tonight.
And the same with you as well.
And it's so nice to be able to sit here easy breezy. 'Cause, you
Exactly.
know,
As-
our
as
names
you
are not
are.
on the ballot.
So what time is it now? Is it, are the polls closed?
Polls are closed.
Polls are closed.
Toss to Emma.
So we're going to go back to Emma, who's in the city clerk office with Steve Carrigan, our city clerk.
Hi, so we're here with Steve Carrigan in the City Clerk's office. And Steve, what can you tell us about today's turnout?
Well, so far, Emma, what I can tell you is based on numbers that were reported back to our office throughout the day, at about 7 o'clock, which is the last numbers we received here, we were at about a 24% turnout citywide, which is very encouraging for me. I had predicted, or I had estimated that about 25%. I should say that I'm cautiously optimistic. Every time we have an election, I'd love to see every registered voter come out and vote, but realistically, I figured we'd maybe be at about 25. So we're at 24% at 7 o'clock, so I'm anticipating maybe we might reach 27 or 28% because we had that last hour push, and so we're hopeful, and we're waiting to see what is reported back to us in a little bit.
And do we think that the weather had anything to do with that? It was a bit rainy here.
It was a pretty good day. I mean, the rain happened at a pretty good time during the day. It happened right in the middle of the day, so I don't think it impacted anyone too much, other than myself, who was caught in in the deluge when I came out of one of the precincts. But other than that, I think voters. It was right middle of the day. So early in the morning, when there's that pre-morning, when that early morning push, when people before they go to work. There was no rain. It was a beautiful day. And then late in the evening, later in the evening after 5 o'clock when people are coming home from work again, which is another big push for people to go vote, it was a beautiful evening. So, I'm very hopeful that people will come out. But rain or shine, we want you to come out and vote, please.
And what you were telling me just a few minutes ago was that even if somebody shows up at like 5 minutes before the polls close with an absentee ballot, they can still get that in.
Correct. Absentee ballots would have to be returned to the city clerk's office, but people have until 8 o'clock before the polls close. So if someone did walk into our office, it's a little bit after 8 now. So unfortunately, you're too late if you show up now. But if they had showed up here at 5 minutes of 8, first call that we would make is to whatever precinct that person is coming in and tell that warden, hold on, we got another ballot coming, and then one of us would jump in, the Batmobile and go racing off to where we need to be. So.
And you heard it here. At this point, the polls are closed. We will be back with you shortly to give you an update.
So I'm so delighted to be here with my friend, President Clancy.
Thank you, Trish. I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm glad that you're having me on.
So it's a very unusual election for you. After all these years, your name is not going to be on the ballot. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm not. I'm very relaxed this evening.
Yeah.
Because the last 18 years, I've been, chewing my nails to figure out if I was going to be elected. Actually, I haven't had an opponent for 18 years, so.
So we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
So you haven't had an opponent. 18 years ago, your opponent was,
Mark Oram.
who is a current
He's
at-large city councilor
Yeah.
who left the ward, took a little vacation,
Yep.
and then came back.
Yes, he did. He
Yeah.
actually, what it was is that it was a very contested ward fight that we did have at the time, and I actually won by 19 votes.
Well, I did not know
It was-
that.
It was
Wow.
very, very close election.
So was there a particular issue in your ward that year?
No, it was just that I was newly retired from the school department. Everybody in the community knew me, so
Yeah.
I did have a pretty good edge.
Yeah.
And,
But you ran in your ward, so your whole
Yeah.
neighborhood had to have known you.
yeah, I do have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
so. But I was very happy to serve for the last 18 years, and I feel very humbled that the residents of Marlborough have actually allowed me to represent them for these 18 years. It's a bittersweet evening this evening, but it's not to the point where I'm not leaving town. I'm just not going to be involved with the municipal.
I'm going to jump in here right
Yeah.
now, Councilor Clancy, because I'm going to say that after all these years on the city council, your greatest delight, the joy of your life has been the Conservation Commission,
Yes, it is.
which you are the longest-serving Conservation Commission member, I think, in the state of
In the state.
Massachusetts,
In the state.
which is something to be said.
Yeah, 52 years.
And
Yeah.
that's amazing. You're out there, you're walking the trails, you're
Yeah.
checking out everything. When anybody has anything going on, that's an amazing
Yeah.
feat in itself.
I was actually out walking today. I was walking.
sure you were.
I was out walking the Green District. Councilor Delano is very familiar with that one. You know, that's before the council right now in urban affairs, and he does a fantastic job in urban affairs. He's the best. And I was the chairman of urban affairs for a period of time.
remember.
But, well, I tell you, he eclipses me as far as his ambition and his drive. But I was out there walking today and taking a look at what the topography is all about. And I look forward to going back and being able to do a lot more of that again.
So I'm going to ask you the same questions I asked my friend Councilor Delano. Your greatest success as a city councilor, you would say was? And I know I'm catching you off guard.
Yeah, well, I think I was actually humbled when I was elected president. You know, that is, to me, it was a big success, taking over from you. It was there's sometimes big shoes to fill.
Well, I left
And-
the gavel in very worthy hands, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yes, you did,
Yeah.
and I think that was probably one of my crowning achievements, is by being elected by my peers to that position, and I have very much enjoyed it. And now the gavel will have to go off to a different person.
I know, and it's all up in arms.
It's all up
We'll
in the
see
air
what
as to.
happens today.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if there was something you wished you could have gotten done that didn't happen because the vote wasn't there or the time ran out, was there anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
You
and
know,
do
I
you have a
think-
regret? Something,
No
I mean,
reg-
I have a takesy-backsy. I wish I didn't vote for something. Do you have one?
No, it's a tough question to
It
ask.
is, yeah.
And I think that most of, you take a look at a lot of the projects that we've had over the last few years. The last 4 years has been tremendous
Certainly has.
movement
You
in the
guys
city of
have been
Marlboro.
working hard. Yeah.
I take a look at the Apex Center. That Apex Center went through in 16 months, from the time that I first met with Robert Walker and his group to, cutting the ribbon at the Apex Center.
Right, but I want to give you and the council justice in that when you say 16 months. That was countless meetings every week, multiple meetings a day sometimes. So it makes it sound
Yeah.
like a very short time, but the work certainly was done to make that happen.
Yeah. A lot of people think that the council is only once every 2 weeks. That's not the case. There are committee meetings every other night during the week, during the year.
Right.
So urban affairs, you might meet on a Tuesday night. I go to all, being the president, I go to all the subcommittee meetings, so I'm out pretty much 3 to 4 nights a week, depending on, what the committee meeting was. But I take a look at, other things that are coming up. We have a lot of stuff happening. That new Green District.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tap my
Come on
friend
over.
Councilor Delano in.
Come on over, Joe.
Thank you, Tricia. Just a couple of things I have to say about President Clancy. I don't think the people of Marlboro realize what we're losing here. So we're going to have some good new people. I'm sure they're going to be fantastic, but the institutional knowledge that Ed Clancy has, from his experience on the Conservation Committee, knowing where every rock and gully and underground structure is, to knowing the people of Marlboro. Every time we talk about a zoning change, any other thing, it goes, oh yeah, so-and-so lives over there. I know what they do. I know them. I know what their business is. I know what they've grown. It is a huge vault of great knowledge that we were able to rely on you on.
Yeah.
And Mr. President, you did such a fabulous job. We are so very lucky to have had you, and You're going to be
I
missed.
think that's a great compliment, Joe. Thank you very much.
And I'm going to chime in here because we are losing two very distinguished counselors this evening because they have decided to go home and retire to their own lives, which I see Mrs. Clancy sitting over here, who could not be more delighted to have her husband back after all of these years, planning your vacations around things. I know Mrs. Delano
Well, that's
feels
kind
the
of funny
same
because
way.
I'm not sure my wife feels quite
Oh,
the
I'm
same.
sure
Like,
she
what are you
does.
doing here? I've got the clicker. Don't you have a meeting? Yeah.
But there's a lot of historical knowledge that's going to walk out the door tonight. So it remains to be seen because we have two open seats. We have a contested at-large race, and we are going to toss it back now. We're going to take a little break and see where the chips fall. Hey, folks, as you know, we're back, and Ward 6 is the first ward to be in. We met with our friend Mike Cabral, who conceded to our newly elected city councilor, Sean Navin. Congratulations, Sean.
Thanks, Trish. I appreciate that.
So, we heard a lot of scuttlebutt, at least I did, around town. I mean, you guys both ran a great race.
Yeah.
People said that they wish two people could have sat in the seat, but
Yeah.
we know that not to be true.
No, that is
That one
unfortunately
person
true.
only has to sit in the seat,
Yeah.
so congratulations.
Thank you.
So I know firsthand, because I talked to many people, that you knocked on the door, as
Yeah.
did Mike.
Yeah.
So you walked around the ward with your
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah,
and,
we did.
yeah,
yeah.
you're glad to have your weekends back?
I am glad to have my weekends back. Yeah, my wife knocked on every door with me, and she deserves just a sainthood at this point.
Yeah.
We knocked as many doors as we could, and you're absolutely right. It was a great race. Mike ran a great race, and it was a nice, positive campaign, and we were able to really, get out there, talk about the issues that we cared about, and we're happy that obviously it went our way, but either way, the people of Ward 6 would have been well served.
So again, as I said to Mike, I congratulate you both for putting your name on the ballot, because somebody has to win and somebody has to lose.
That is true.
It's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
But what's your goals for Ward 6?
Yeah, I mean, so absolutely, it's a great question. It's one we heard a lot from people in the ward, and we talked a lot about this going the day to day. There are a lot of things that are affecting our city. One being traffic. That is just, as our city continues to grow and thrive, traffic becomes an issue that we need to work on. The new elementary school that's opening in Ward 6 is going to be going to put some stretch on the road. So we want to continue to work on those issues that are important in the ward, but all across the city. The city needs a new fire station. We have to continue to invest in our education, work with our seniors, and continue to invest in infrastructure. Those are some of the things, and not to go through the
But you
grocery
know
list,
what?
but
You also, in retrospect, you have giant shoes to fill. Because the
I don't-
esteemed Councilor Clancy is walking away.
so, yeah.
And nobody had to beat, he's walking away. So your goals on his behalf?
So let me just say this. Your statement is true, and I don't think it's possible to fill Ed Clancy's shoes. I've said this to a lot of people over the past few months. I was lucky enough to be Ed's last graduating class from Marlboro High.
Oh, wow.
This city owes Ed Clancy a debt of gratitude for over 50 years of public service. There is no way to fill his shoes. I just hope that I can continue his tradition of being a responsive and loyal city councilor to the residents of Ward 6. And, I will do my best every day. I don't know that that's a mission that one can fulfill, but I will certainly do my best to make him proud.
Well, you kind of answered my last question there, because your vote is your voice, and your voice will be.
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, your voice will be for the people of Ward 6
Well, yes,
is
of
to-
course.
Yeah,
Okay, so sorry, I'm still a little frazzled.
that's okay.
My number one goal is to be the voice for the people of Ward
Yeah.
6, right? The best thing a city councilor can do is be responsive. And so every day for the next 2 years that I am fortunate enough to serve the residents of Ward 6, I will be as responsive as I can be, and I will echo their voices as much as possible.
And as much as you think your work is over, having been there from door to door, your work has just started.
I can't wait.
And they have a great agenda in front of you. The city is in good feet, and we're happy to have you aboard.
Thanks, Trish.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Well, I'm here with City Councilor Christian Dumas, Ward 3 City Councilor. Councilor Dumas, a lot of changes going on in the City Council. We know for sure there's going to be 2 new members, possibly more. So what are you thinking?
I think it's great. Being the newest kid on the block, it's kind of nice to get that new energy. Although it's bittersweet losing you and Clancy, but such a wealth of knowledge that's leaving the city council chambers. It's unfortunate, but change is always a good thing. It's good for the city, and I'm excited to start 2020.
So your first term on the city council, was it what you thought it would be? What was different? What was the same?
Nothing can prepare you for this gig. Nothing. Even owning your own business, it's completely. After doing it for so long, it's a lot of work, but dedication and commitment, and having great colleagues to support is always a little bit easier at the end of the day. But I wish the two Ward 1 and 6 a lot of luck as they break new ground with this position, and hopefully we'll all be there to help and support and make Marlborough a little bit different and new energy.
So I'm going to steal Trish Pope's questions. She always asks all of us, so if you had a do-over, is there one thing you would do over? And if there was something you were particularly proud of?
You know what, I think I'm proud of just being there for the constituents and making myself available to them, and hopefully they know that they can come to me at anything. And I get, numerous phone calls and emails all hours of the day and night. But something differently, I think I would rather be a little bit more vocal in the chamber, but again, it's just trying to find your voice, and there's a lot of personality at the city chamber level, so it's just finding your role, and I think in the next term I'll be able to do that. So.
Well, perhaps there'll be a little more oxygen in the room after I leave and some others, so I'm sure you're going to do great. Fairly obvious. So anything you'd like to say to your constituents to wrap this up?
No, I just thank you always for coming out to vote. I think it's extremely important at the local level. The education on the local municipal level is so important. I use this example all the time. When we voted for the school bond, literally the next day they were clearing out the trees. That does not happen at the national level or the state level. You can always find us at the restaurants or grocery stores or my place of business. So getting out to vote for the municipal level is so important, and I'm so thankful that they did and continue to do so.
Fantastic. Christian, I wish you and the city wishes you the best of luck in your next term.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, and now we're going to throw it to Trish and Emma back in the city clerk's office.
And we're back in the city clerk's office with Trish Pope. We're just minutes away, hopefully, from getting those election results. We're all waiting here patiently in the office. But while we're here, we're going to talk about some fun facts that we have from over the years.
Who doesn't love fun facts?
I love
about
fun facts.
A city election, So we've had 40 people be mayor in the city of Marlborough since 1890.
Yes, that's what we were talking about earlier, and I just love that fun fact because if you think about it, that's not really a lot of people for that long period of time. So I think that speaks to what a joy it must be to be in a city like Marlborough.
But to break it down, we've had 39 men and 1 woman.
Wow,
And 1 woman, and that woman would be Mayor Nancy Stevens. So if Mayor Vigent, if he's elected again tonight, he will be the first mayor ever to have served 5 consecutive terms
really,
as mayor, along with his 18 years on the city council, will make him the longest serving public servant for the city of Marlborough.
that is quite the record.
That is quite the record, and that just stands to his record because the mayor has done a great job not only on the city council, but as mayor, he has brought us to a new elevation. But we have so many fun facts tonight, and just about our council itself. Okay, so Councilor Ossing, if he's re-elected tonight, he'll be the longest-serving consecutive city councilor. We've had a lot of long-term city councilors, but Councilor Orem, although not consecutive, tonight, if he's re-elected, will be 20 years for him as well. He was a Ward 6 councilor, took a little vacation for a while, came back as an at-large councilor. We have, I skipped a page here, but we have, the shameless fact, we have Michael Ossing, which we talked about, but then there's me.
Yeah, so let's talk about your time as you were serving. What was that experience like, and what made you, kind of take a step back, but what also sparked your interest?
Well, what sparked my interest was I was new to the city of Marlborough. I had lived in the city of Marlborough for about 7 or 8 years when I ran for office. And I grew up in a family where you were involved in your community, and I thought it was something that I could give back. And I am proud to say that I was the Ward 4 City Councilor for 8 years, and I was an at-large City Councilor for 10 years. So, and you know what, there's not a minute of it I wouldn't give back, although my husband might say differently. And my kids always talk about my cooking skills because, I was running out to a meeting. But, it was great time served, and stepping away was bittersweet for me, but becoming the director of the Council on Aging was an opportunity that I could not pass up.
And then, of course, you're still here on election night, which I think speaks to your passion for this city and to how, we all want to see it, grow and keep seeing the positive coming out of
And
Marlborough.
election night is such an exciting night. It really is, and especially this year. That we have so many balls in the court. There's been many years where we had nobody running opposed, and we had, we had somebody stepping away and one person stepping into the seat. But we have many open races tonight. It's such an exciting night tonight.
Now, it seemed like we had a lot of people, on the ballot this year. Is that, for those that are, new to Marlborough, is that typical for Marlborough to have this many people on the ballot, or is this something that seemed like it was a spike?
It's not typical. I wish it was something we saw all the time because competition is good for everyone, and it gives not only the seated person, the incumbent, but the challenger to get out there and speak to the people and tell them what you're thinking and where you perceive the city to be in the next 2 years. So it's a very exciting night. Competition is not a bad thing.
And if you guys want to learn more about any of the candidates, you can feel free to go on to our website. We do have those debates up there, and we will be bringing you those election results live as soon as we have them right here in the city clerk's office.
So as we told you, the numbers are coming in fast and furious, and I am here with the new Ward 1 City Councilor, Laura Wagner. Laura, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So what was it like to be on the ballot for the very first time?
It was really exciting. I really enjoyed getting to spend time talking with my neighbors. I really enjoyed, it made it so much better to have an excellent running opponent. Bhaskar Perimetla was wonderful. I enjoyed getting to know him, and really it was about getting to know our ward, what we can do to connect. I think we had a lot of similarities there, connecting the people in our ward and just being the best representative and just adding to the strength of the Marlborough community, and just an honor to be able to have this opportunity.
So I know it's very exciting, and I do not want to discount Bhaskar, because I will say we heard the same thing with Sean Navum when he was here accepting the Ward 6 seat. Having great candidates, I hope that these people don't walk away. But tell me, I'll tell you, I remember the first time that I was elected to City Council. It's just an awe-inspiring night.
It is. It is. There's a lot of, it's exciting, it's a lot of opportunity. I also I come to this humbly. There's a lot that I'm going to learn really fast. I take this position really seriously, and it's not, I really have that commitment to, I'm not going to just, not talk to anyone in my ward for 2 years until the next time I'm running again. I'm really enjoying this opportunity to continue what I started.
Well, I'm going to say something that might be a little bit out of character, but I'm sure people will understand. It appears that you're going to take your seat with 2 other women city councilors. And you know what? It's been a long time since there were 3 women on the city council. I can attest to that, and it's about time.
It is, and it's an honor to be a part of this really strong group. I'm very excited. Thank you.
There are so many positive things happening in the city. So your greatest desire for your ward would be?
The engagement, the opportunities to, for everything that's developing, from the development on the east side of Route 20 to the infrastructure projects that are happening. The thing I'm most excited about is to really create that sense of engagement, that people feel this is our ward and that we're doing this together.
It's not only our ward, it's our community, because you not only vote for your ward,
Right.
you vote
Right.
for the entire community, although accountable to your ward.
Yes. Yes.
And it's
But that's
it's-
part,
it's-
strong ward, strong community, it all fits
Right,
together,
yeah.
but
So
I'm
it's
just,
so very exciting.
yes.
Yeah, so what are your plans tonight?
My plans tonight is to just really enjoy this moment. I
Yeah.
think we're all going over to the Lost Shoe. I want to just talk to the other people, and again, I'm sad that Bhaskar, he went home to his family, he's tired. I wish he was coming with us tonight, but that's the beginning of that relationship, and the other people that I talked to, that I feel like this is a win of many people tonight, certainly not standing here
And you know what,
alone.
that's such a positive thing to say, because it was just a positive campaign around the city, all the ward races and everything. It's so great to hear that all of the opponents actually during the race became friends.
Yes,
And
true.
you all have a space in your future for each other, which is an exciting thing to happen. I just wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, and relish this moment.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
most
you.
welcome. Well, we're back. We're here with the newly re-elected incumbent councilor of Ward 2, Dave Doucette. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Trish.
So, how'd the race go?
It was it was a good race. Kenny really ran well. I did a lot of campaigning on bicycle, and it's really helped a lot because I think I was covering better territory than by car, and then walking around. But I really appreciated the support I got from the people in my ward and precinct. So I really feel proud about getting that type of response.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank
This
you.
is your third term
Yes,
to
it
be
is.
back as a city councilor, so
Yep.
that's kind of, making a little precedent there.
Yep.
And one of the things we heard from the other folks that we talked to tonight is everybody along the campaign trail this time became friends. You all
yeah.
had a great challenger
Yep.
or, opponent, and you all found commonality in things, and I'm hoping that that's going to maintain and that Mr.
Yeah.
Digit won't fade away and you have a role for
No,
him maybe on
actually-
the Board of Commission?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I'm working on the Renewable Energy Commission. I hope he might be available for that. I've talked to a couple of the other folks about that. We'll see what, Kenny's always been engaged in the community. I don't see that changing at all.
So what is your greatest idea for your next term, I guess,
Well-
for lack of a better term?
I'm trying to get the city to be more green and focus on renewable energy. The Renewable Energy Commission is something I proposed during the summer. I'm planning to have a hearing under the Wireless Committee sometime in mid-November. I forget what the date is right off the bat. But, so if anyone's interested, they can reach out to the City Council, and if they want to be part of that, because we're looking for volunteers as well.
And that's wonderful to say, because we're always looking for volunteers on
Yeah.
boards and commissions, and if people want to get started in city politics, it's a great way to get your feet wet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing I learned in the last 6 years is how the city really lives on the time and effort of volunteers. There's a lot of great people involved in the city.
Well, although you get a little bit of a stipend, you're sort of considered a volunteer yourself. Because
Yeah.
it's a tremendous amount of hours
Yeah.
that a city councilor puts in.
That is true, but, we get elected, the volunteers don't.
Right.
So that's the big difference.
Having your name on that ballot one more time and having
That
your
was
friends
good.
out there holding signs.
Yep.
You didn't have the greatest of days. You didn't have the worst of days.
No, it
But
was
do
a
you have
nasty.
friends that told you that they're not going to do it again?
No, I think the ones who are not running, they already said that they weren't. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens in 2 years.
Well, congratulations,
Thank you
Counselor.
very much, Trish.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Take care.
So I'm here tonight with Don Landers, who ran unopposed this evening.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, after 6 terms, looks like you're going to have a 7th.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, you're going to have a 7th. And so what's your goal for the next
Well,
term?
I'm looking forward to it. Part of the reason I decided to run for the 7th, there's so many neat things going on in the city, and I very much want to be part of it.
That's a really cool thing to say.
Yeah.
So many neat things going
Yeah,
on. in
there
the
really
city.
are. I
Yeah.
mean, this is a great time for the city of Marlborough. We're losing some years of experience, though.
You are
if-
losing a lot of
i-
historical
i-
knowledge
if-
tonight with
yeah.
Councilor Delano stepping
Yeah.
away, Councilor Clancy
And
stepping away.
if my math is right, that's 30 years.
That is a lot
That's
of years.
a
Yeah.
lot of years.
Yeah.
Somehow we'll survive. You mentioned before that one time, I think you had 8 new councils come in
I
one year
did.
term.
I was in
And,
that class that year.
yeah.
Yes, I was, in 1998.
But quite honestly, I wish
I'm
these.
not that old.
I wish these guys split it over, 2 terms.
I know.
Rather than both go at
So
once,
what's your goal for the next
Oh,
2
my
years?
goal, actually, I'm not sure who the president will be, but I'd like to continue at least on the 5 or 6 committees I'm on. And I think it's the teacher in me. I'd like to work with some of these maybe new and young people, and even some that have been on a couple of years. And, I do have some experience. I don't always have the right answer, the right decision, but
None of us
at least I can talk to them,
Absolutely.
So I think that would be number one, is that, it looks like we're going to have a couple new ones.
Absolutely.
And, work with them, but also, support the things that are going on, make sure we finish up this year, and then we start with a bang next year.
Although, again, we're going to confirm that we don't have any solid numbers yet, but it does appear that Mayor Vigent will be returned to a 5th term. Are you happy to be working with him?
No,
again?
I'm quite pleased.
I figured that would be the answer.
I don't agree with him on everything. There's
As
a few
you
things,
shouldn't,
few
right?
things I didn't agree with him on, but he basically, in the 5 terms, he's done an excellent job.
Yep.
I like the way he approaches things. I think we've accomplished a lot of great things under him, and You know, I know it's going to continue for the next 2 years, which we need. We
Absolutely.
can't stop now.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're definitely going to have 2 new colleagues. It appears as though there might be a third.
Yeah.
The solid numbers are still coming in, but it appears as though there might be 3 new city councilors, which is a great time for the city.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Change is not a bad thing.
Not always. We saw that in the school department sometimes.
Absolutely,
That,
yeah.
you know, you get new ideas coming in. As long as these young people coming in realize they can't do it on their own,
Right.
and they got to learn to work together, you know,
Yeah.
collaboratively, and talk to some of the past counselors to, you know, how do you do it?
And you know what, saying that, we haven't had any school committee numbers
Yeah.
yet, so we're going to take a break right now. We're going to look for those numbers. We're going to look
Right.
for the Assabet Valley number, and we'll get back to you shortly.
And by the way, I still look back to you for advice.
I appreciate that. So as the night goes on and the results come in, I'm here with the newly elected Counselor at Large, Samantha Perlman. Samantha, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is a huge win for you, your first step into politics of any sort to run an at-large race. Congratulations. What do you think put you over the top?
Honestly, I'm just so grateful for the community. I mean, this isn't a race about me, it's about everyone at home. You know, I knocked so many doors. I heard the stories of Marlboro residents, and it just really warms my heart to be able to have the opportunity to serve where I grew up. And I honestly, when the polls closed, I was, very nervous. I didn't know what would happen, and I'm really grateful.
So at this point, we know that you have come out a victor, but we're not quite sure which seated city councilor has lost their position. So we're going to kind of leave that on the side for a minute. But having run a campaign against 4 incumbent councilors, you ran because you thought you could do something better. What was that?
Well, you know, growing up here in Marlboro my whole life, and I also work in the nonprofit sector in civic education and engagement, and I really felt like there was a disconnect between local government and the community, and that was a niche that I could specifically fill. That's what I do in my day job. I've engaged young people on this campaign. We've had high school students help volunteer. You know, I've spent time with our older residents, and I just think it takes all of us, and you know, I really believe that we need more women in public office as well, and I really wanted to see more women on the council, and I felt like if that was something that I wanted to see, and younger people as well, then I needed to be vulnerable enough to run, and I'm just really grateful, and I'm looking forward to working with everyone who's currently on the council, and just really get some things done for our community, and just, again, really excited.
So you know, it is really exciting because, you know, having been on the council myself, it appears at this point that you'll be joining the council with 2 other women, which is the most, unfortunately, I will say, that the city council has ever seen. But that's an exciting time, having been there for many years by myself, and Councilor Roby having been there many years by herself. It is time for women to take their seat in local politics, and I'm so excited to see you as a young person. It's very exciting. I just wish you the best of luck, and I know you have some dreams for the future, so tell us what those are.
Yeah, well, honestly, to your point about the women being elected, I just want to say how grateful I am to all of the women who've served and continue to serve in our community here in Marlboro, and really on their footsteps I stand, and I just really want to continue that. And you know, whether it's, you know, revitalizing our downtown, protecting open space in our community, really making sure that we are environmentally conscious, and really working with our residents and our businesses, and our community organizations. You know, again, I'm just excited. I want to be able to be around the community, very present, and I do believe that the relationships that I've been able to form with people are the reason why I'm standing here today.
And although a new young elected member of City Council, I dare say you're not the youngest. If my fun facts,
I know, am I the youngest woman?
You are the youngest
That's
woman.
what I was heard. I know. I
Woman.
think Steve LeDuc was the youngest.
Steve LeDuc
Yes.
was the youngest man, so you are the youngest woman to be elected. Congratulations to you,
Thank
Samantha.
you.
I know that how much work it takes to run an at-large campaign, to be out there every day. You gave up your weekends, you gave up your nights, you had a great team of people behind you. Best of luck, and I hope we see nothing but bright things from you.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm really grateful to all of the residents of Marlboro for, you know, casting your vote in support of my candidacy, and I look forward to working with so many people in the community moving forward, and I think it hasn't even sunk in yet, so it's very exciting.
Well, take a breath, and you'll be at work on January 1st.
All right,
Congratulations.
thank you so much.
So we're back again, and we are here with the unprecedented mayor, who has just won his 5th re-election in the city of Marlboro, which makes you a dynasty, Mr. Mayor.
I don't know about
Congratulations.
a dynasty. No, thank you very much.
That is something for the history books, for sure.
Well, it's really, everyone's been working together, and you were part of it. when you were on the council. Councilor Delano's been part of it. We've all been working, going in the same direction and getting a ton accomplished. So I happen to be the mayor during this time, but you know, we've had a great team in place for a number of years now.
Councilor Delano.
Mr. Mayor, I think you sell yourself short when you say you happen to be part of it. You have, with your background, was it 18 years on the city council?
It was 18.
Your accounting background, and what you have accomplished for this city for the first time, AAA rating, the budgets that you put together, which the public doesn't understand, that you made it easy on the city council. We didn't have to take a lot of hard votes. You did the hard work for us. But your accomplishments in these last few years, with business, with other things, what really makes you happy?
Probably, you know, personally, the AAA bond rating and the
I know you wanted
relationship.
that for years.
I've been working on that for a number of years, but I think the relationship we have with the employees, that sometimes we don't necessarily agree 100% with the unions, but we're not battling. You know, we just agree to disagree, and we have a lot of good employees in the city that are doing a lot of wonderful things. Like I said, the boards and commissions that we work with, the city council, the school committee, it's been a great group, and that's why we've gotten so much done. We're not battling. We have discussions, and we can have split votes, but none of it's getting personal, and that's most important in moving forward, that we don't bring the personal attacks into it.
Perfect, yes.
So, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to say, being a numbers guy yourself, you are now, without precedent, the longest-serving consecutive elected official in the city.
Well,
that's got to feel amazing for a city that you truly love.
No, it really is. It's something that obviously never aspired to. I was kind of convinced to run for the city council a long time ago by Mayor at the time, Mike Hogan. Actually heard from Mike today, so it was great to hear from him. But you know, it was getting into something I really knew nothing about, and just started growing on me, and really enjoyed it. So.
Well, I can say, having been a lucky person to have served with you for many years, you taught me a lot. You've brought the city into a whole new generation, which is a fantastic thing for us to be happening here. We are no longer that country kind of city, although we like to hang our hat on that because it's a great slogan. But you know what? You've brought us into new levels, and we are a contender across the state of Massachusetts, in no small part to your leadership. So thank you, Mayor.
And along those lines, Mayor Vigent, maybe we can talk about the economic development. You know, way back when, a lot of the politicians didn't really know who the companies were in our city, right? The only time they went out to see them was to ask for something. You want to talk about a little bit about what you do, going out to visit the various corporations to try and help them expand here and stay here?
Yeah, no, we've done about 300 site visits with the different companies in the city, and it's amazing the talent and the companies and what they produce here that no one even knows about down in our office park. And it's great to work with them. Many of them have been here for a long time. When I started 8 years ago, we had a couple million square feet of vacant space, and again, working together, we were able to fill that up. And you know, we don't have a lot of new buildings, but the old buildings are for the most part full, and it's bringing in additional tax revenue so we can do the senior center and the school and the library and the fire station without putting the burden on the backs of the taxpayers. And that's what, you know, people like yourself and Councilor Pope and Councilor Ossing have been working on for years, is to make sure we have steady tax increases and not these huge, big jumps every year.
Any priorities the next couple of years?
Keep the projects done, keep the roads construction going, and we're excited about doing that.
Fantastic.
And we're here with Steve Kerrigan in the city clerk's office, live now with our unofficial results. Let's take a look at these numbers.
Sure. So 14, all 7 wards have reported, 14 precincts. And I think Trish Pope has already reported, and I've been speaking with the mayor, but Mayor Arthur Vigent has been reelected with 3,527 votes to David Garso's 2,050 votes. In the at-large race, and you're going to have to excuse me for not looking up, I apologize because these are hot off the press. It appears that the 4 at-large councilors will be returning Councilor Oram, Councilor Ossing, Councilor Roby, and Samantha Perlman will be joining them as the 4th councilor at large. Councilor Jaware, Paul Farrow, and James Drummondville did not win. In Ward 1, as you already are aware, Laura Wagner won with 510 votes, Tabashkar Permetlas 405. Councilor Doucette won re-election with 508 to Ken Vigilance 393. And then Councilor Christian Dumas, Councilor Tenera, Councilor Irish, and Councilor Landers all won re-election unopposed. And in Ward 6, as they've reported earlier, Sean Navin is the new Ward 6 councilor, winning with 619 votes to Mike Cabral's 222. In the school committee race, Catherine Hennessy and Heidi Matthews have been re-elected, and Dan Caruso will join them as the third member of the school committee elected this evening. Mark Dexter finished fourth with 2,003 votes. And Peggy Ayers has retained her seat on the Assabet Valley School Committee with 2,955 votes to Mark Schneider's 1,832 votes. We had, and I'm sorry to report, we had exactly 25.02% of the electorate that came out and voted. I had kind of guesstimated that we would have about 25%, which we did have come out. Wish there was more, but there was. And of that 25%, though, we had 557 people cast ballots by absentee, which is kind of a record in the last few years. We sent out 680 absentee ballots between applications received and people who voted in the office, and 557 people, or just shy of 10%, voted by absentee. So, we would encourage people to come out and vote by absentee, but in March, which is the next election, I know it's going to sound weird to say, we're not 5 minutes after this election, I'm already talking about the next one, but March is the presidential primary, and we will have early voting for the presidential primary, so I would encourage everyone to come out and vote. Watch our website, and the city clerk's office will be having more information coming out.
All right, and thank you so much, Steve. Again, we are live here in the city clerk's office.
And I'm sorry, Emma, I don't mean to interrupt. If I can, I just wanted to take an opportunity. They're standing there in the background. They're all hiding behind me, but I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for my assistant, Wilson Chu, Leo Mercado, and Betty Jolonsky here in the clerk's office. They really, they are the backbone to this place, and they make us all look good. So.
And it's a lot of hard work that goes into this election. And of course, we will keep you updated with all of the latest results. Make sure to stick with WMCT. We will have all the latest. And once again, we are live here at City Hall on election night. We have the unofficial results have officially come in. How are we feeling about those results tonight?
Well, it's been an amazing night here in the city. This has been a race beyond races. It's been a long time since we've seen this many candidates. We saw some upsets. We had 2 open ward seats, which were hard-fought battles. There are going to be 3 new members to the city council.
Wow. And this is definitely, a new thing. How are you feeling about this evening?
Well, it's an interesting night. We had a couple of wards, Ward 1 and Ward 6, where 2 really good candidates lost because somebody had to lose. We have an old friend, Peter Jouer, who didn't quite make it, and that's going to be a loss. Peter was always a hard worker. He cared what the people thought, and it was a pleasure to work with him. So we'll see what happens. A learning curve on the city council is pretty steep, and we have a lot of important projects before us, a lot of things to do. So these folks are going to have to get in gear really fast. And I wish them the best of luck, and I'm sure they're going to do a great job.
I'm sure they're going to do a great job, and it's just so exciting to see what the future holds. Again, to my former colleague and my friend Peter Jouer, you did an amazing job, not only for the ward when you were a ward councilor, but again at large. It takes a lot of credit and a lot of gumption to put your name on the ballot because it's the nature of the game. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose, as we saw in the 2 open ward seats. Again, much credit to those candidates. So many exciting things happened tonight. My head is spinning. There's a lot of good things going to happen in the city in the future, but I'm going to echo my friend and former colleague, Joe Delano, which there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot to be learned in a very short time, and I wish them the best of luck.
And I think having the mayor a steady hand at the tiller is going to help the council. I think they'll work together, and I expect good things coming up.
Nothing but the best, because the city of Marlborough is on the rise, and it's going to continue to be that way.
Absolutely. I know that we have a lot ahead of us as a city. I know we've been talking about, the new fire station. We've been talking about the library. There are a lot of really great projects that are going on here. So I know that, this city has a lot in front of it, but we have a team in now that is going to be taking it moving forward. So what do you guys think about the direction that the city of Marlborough is going in for the next year?
Well, first of all, the city's going in a great direction, and as all elections, the people have spoken. So I hope their dreams come true.
And moving forward, so the new fire station could be $10, $12, $15 million. We've worked hard in this city council, and I, as Urban Affairs Chair, to gather over the next few years about $4.3 million that could go as a down payment to that fire station if the future council decides to spend it that way. That takes a lot of burden off of the taxpayers. We have a lot of great things that have happened. It's important that we stay business friendly in a way that has smart growth, that keeps the pressure off the backs of the taxpayers. We've done that in the past, and I'm sure they're going to do it in the future. I wish them the best of luck.
And Joe, you have a lot of knowledge. I'm sure you're not walking away with all of that in your back pocket. I'm sure you're going to share it with all of them.
Anybody asks, I'm happy to share.
Wonderful. And again, congratulations to all of our winners tonight. Make sure you stick with WMCT News. We will continue to be bringing you the latest.